Ladies and gentlemen, it is 7-ish, and we are ready to start the show. I got some good guests here, man. They are I think the hottest up and coming YouTube channel, and not just Dolphins. We're talking about in sports, period. Um, and the best part is I get to call him my friend. I met them. I met Lewis through Larry L. It's funny how everything works. So I met Lewis through Larry L. Right. Then I met Doc Brown through Lewis, and then I met Tony through Doc Brown. So it's like one big circle. And I think as fate, I think we were gonna meet eventually, but I'm glad we did, and things turned out how they did. So when we come back, I'm gonna introduce to you, like I said, the hottest thing in YouTube right now. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Shake, 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 yeah. Shake, 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 shake. Shake money in the place. Miami plays, Miami days, and the blender was shaking his friends. We gonna talk about the fans again. Miami plays, Miami days, and the blender was shaking his friends. We gonna talk about the fans again. Is you a fan or a troll? Are you trying to wish us good? Trying to take control, bringing problems to the hood. What takes your soul? Miami Dolphins bring the wood. Super Bowl is the goal. Tyreek Hill. I'm trying to kick it with Shake. You gotta be a real fan. No pretenders and fakes. We're gonna open up the line. Come correct with your taste. If you step into us blind, we're gonna show you the way. Miami plays, Miami days, and the blender was shaking his friends. We're gonna talk about the fans again. Miami plays, Miami days, and the blender was shaking his friends. We're gonna talk about the fans again. Never want the season to end. Let's mix it up a little with gin. And I remember when I knew that the Dolphins would win. Yeah, rockin' with Shake, rockin' with Shake. Let's go. I never want the season to end. Never mix it up a little with gin. That's right. Pass it off to one of my friends. Yeah, rockin' with Shake, rockin' with Shake. Larry K, what up? Phin-Addicts. TFTG, the tailgate. Miami Dolphins, baby. What up, Lou? Shake money. Crypto. Check it. Me? God bless y'all. Miami Dolphins #1. And we out. Miami Dolphins football, the greatest football team. We push the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. Respect us.
This time last year, I remember watching. I remember I had Tony on as a guest. I was watching the replay, and I remember Tony and Lewis, interacting with each other in the chat, and it's like, you know what? There was obviously some chemistry, and you know what? I'm glad they took advantage of it. Teamed up with Alex, who is another member of the of the Blitz pickup. Hopefully in 2 years he'll be able to do his 100th episode. But right now, let me introduce you first. The man who's on a 14-game winning streak. Tony, what's good?
Yo, yo, what's up, Jay? I'm not gonna. Hey, Alex, I ain't put him up to that joke. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Hey, we say 2 years before for the 100th, or the
Hey,
or maybe
listen, hey, take the over under 2 years. Alex, make the 100 episode.
and of course the next guest. Of course, I'm saving the best for last. Mi hermano Lewis, what's good?
Shake. I cannot believe you came out here and lied already. We ain't even 30 seconds into the show. A 14-game winning streak for Tone.
Hey, listen, I didn't hate by him saying say the best for last. Listen, we don't put an argument on we put an argument on our platform, not in front of public, man. Let's relax. We got company today.
Better reckon than the Dolphins. Damn. They go Miami Fins talk. But let me give some shout outs real quick. Powerhouse, absolutely. TJ in the house. What's up? Scott Jackson, Michael K. What's up? How you doing, man? Cat for Life. Cat for Life, what's going on, Fred? And Miami, he's on Twitter, Miami Fan Talk, Big Philly. So, by the way, man, listen. Remember we talked about Salvador Ahmed? My man, Rafael Courtright. Can't forget you. I was looking through the pictures, man. Look at this dude. He spelled my name wrong. Shank Money.
Shake, that's evidence, Shake.
No, it ain't evidence because he spelled my name wrong. So there you go.
So that's not you. All right.
No, that's what y'all used to rob that man, a shank. Y'all took a shank to rob that man. That's crazy.
Oh, you gave the wrong name on purpose. So when he reported him,
yeah, that was that. A shake. That's not even a picture he signed. That's the police report he was given. That's what that was.
Plausible
he shanked me for my money. And by the way, man, listen, I am excited for when you guys come. Listen, I told you, man. Hey, look, I got the ketchup. I got the mayonnaise.
Oh, you got the severance package. Okay, for sure.
Okay.
That's right, baby. I'm prepared.
He came prepared today.
Well, Shake, what's crazy is, again, bro, I appreciate the intro, right? And some of the things you were saying. Like from day one, Shake, me and you, usually this is how I meet people, right? Like me and you, the first time we met, we got into it. And now I look at you as not only a friend, but you're a brother to me, right?
Yeah,
like this relationship will last forever, in my opinion.
Yeah,
right.
Sure,
and that's
too.
the good thing about the Dolphin community. And just the one thing I did want to say before we get started, what you were kind of illustrating with me and Tone was from day one, it was easy to do, or it's easy to do a show with Tone. Because when you do it with like-minded people, not that I have to agree with him or he has to agree with me, but we kind of see the world the same way. We kind of stand for the same kind of like values and morals. So the same thing I said about you, Shake, not to get overly emotional or nothing like that, but Tone is another dude that's a brother to me for life, man. And it's good that I get to do a show with him for 3 days a week, and usually almost every day interacting with him, man. So I appreciate your words, Shake, but I just wanted to say that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a 100% fact, Shake.
So before we get into everything, first let me start off with Lou. How's your son doing?
Oh, he's good, man. Rehabbing went well, and he's back at Louisville, man. So he's doing good, and it is what it is. Gotta just put your head down and work, Shake. So
yeah.
But he's doing good.
So the big thing about the big thing is with this Deion Sanders thing. And let me ask you this: if let's say when your son gets to that next level and you start seeing the negativity, how would you react? Would you know how to react to it, or is that something you have to cross when you get there?
Well, for negativity, like in like people talking about him negatively, is that what you mean? Yeah.
Like how like for instance, you know how Dolphin fans emotion get. You miss one tackle, like for instance, you miss one, you give up one touchdown, all of a sudden you're the worst cornerback to ever play the game of football.
Well, Shake, it's crazy. Like I told these stories before. Like in high school, when my son, he would have a 2-touchdown game and an interception game because he was playing both ways, just like a lot of kids do in high school. And, even during the game, it's a lot of cheering and this and that. And then after the game, when parents are interacting with a bunch of the kids, all you heard was Angelo this, Angelo that, Angelo this. And by the time he would come to me, I wasn't talking to him about the 2 touchdowns and the interception. I was talking about the missed tackle on the 3rd and 7 where he gave up the first down. Right? So I think that's me. I was training him always for the criticism. It was never like, my expectation for you, I wasn't giving you credit because you were doing your job. I was going to criticize you, not criticize you, but I know why you scored the 2 touchdowns and got the interception. I know that. I want to know what happened on the missed tackle. I want to know on the quick slant, why were you evened up with him instead of taking a foot inside to take the quick slant away? So from that perspective, I think my son would be able to handle the criticism. And as far as me, listen, at the end of the day, this is his profession, right? Like this is something you got to do. So he would have to stand on his own 2 feet and handle it his own. Again, everybody, father's the same. And I would definitely never call Deion Sanders a bad father in any way, shape, or form, because I don't believe that. But at some point, we got to stop having the conversations about Daddy Sanders and start having the conversations about Shador Sanders, because that's whose time it is now. Deion had his time. Let Shador have his.
Yeah, and it reminds me of Kim Bokamper, number 58, one of my favorite broadcasters for the Miami Dolphins. He had a story about how he went up to Don Shula one day and said, "Hey, how come you're always pointing out the bad plays, right? I do some good plays out there." He goes, "Yeah, that's your job, to do good plays. My job is to correct you when you fuck up."
The fact.
So, you kind of prepare him for that, because nowadays it seems like coaching like that would be frowned upon. It seems like, at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully, man, I'm hoping that he becomes he transfers to Florida, and I get that Gator jersey. I know that's one of his favorite schools, right?
Well, he had a couple visits to Florida. I think I told the story though. So actually, Eugene Wilson, Shake, I told you he was opposite. He played the opposite corner from my son in high school. He's up at Florida. But 2 of my son's closest friends, they went to Louisville the year before. So I think, it just came down to he wanted, it's good to go somewhere where you at least have some people and know some people there when you're getting away from your family. So I think that was, I don't want to say a large part of his decision, but I think it just made it a lot easier that 2 of his closest friends had already went to Louisville, and they kind of gave him and in our family some good reviews of what was going on over there. So it kind of made his decision better. But hey, man, who knows? Maybe, maybe an NIL deal or something, and Gators, here we come.
Hell yeah. And
I'll tell you one thing, Shake, I would never let him go to whatever college the other team in Florida, whoever that is. I would never let him go there.
Yeah, I wouldn't let my son go to Florida State either. I'm with you on that, Lou. You're right.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they give free crabs. The women do. Anyway,
hey yo.
hey.
Anyway, that's so Jameis Winston said. Before we move on to the next topic, what was you got you got parents here that are going to be in your situation when they send their kids to college. What 3 key pieces of advice would you give them and transitioning and making your son when he went to for your son to make that transition?
Well, number one, again, it goes back to what I just said about Deion Sanders. I'm always going to be there for my son. My son knows that. We talk on a daily basis. He can call me whenever. But like I told him from the jump, don't call me just for no stupid reasons, right? Because again, you're out there. You got to be, again, I'm not holding your hand. Your mom's not holding your hand. Your brother's not there. This is on you. So if you need something, again, I'll always be there. We'll always be there. But I guess from a parent standpoint, it's hard to let a child go, right? But you got to. That would be advice number 1. And I really don't have a number 2, man. I think if you raise your kids right with the morals and stuff, like I know I go to sleep at night shaking Tone, and I don't worry about his school work or anything like that. I know he's putting in that work, right? Like I know from a fundamental standpoint, we raised him right. We raised him tough, but we raised him right. So I guess the only advice, I know you said 3 things. I only have 1, Shake.
Okay.
You just gotta let him go. That was the hardest thing, even for me, more so with his mom though. It's like, oh, I can't have my baby. when you realize like you can't go like, me and his mom were separated, but I lived 20 minutes away, so I could always be out there to touch him or reach him or do whatever. And now he's in Louisville, and once you get over the aspect of your, again, whatever, your baby's not going to be with you, that's the hardest point from a parent standpoint. But you just got to let them go and let them become young men and young women, whatever, if you have a son or daughter or whatever. I would say from a parent standpoint, the hardest thing is just, letting them go.
Okay. So right now, I have a few questions for you, and then we'll do the Blitz pickup together. You know what I'm saying? That was my thing. I did one for Lewis, one set for Tony, and then as the collective, as you know what I'm saying. So Tony.
I'm Chris Greer in the collective, by the way.
I'll take Brandon Shaw. I'll control the money.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
So you went to Houston and you went to Seattle last year, right?
Yes, sir.
What those games you went to? So what games? What stadiums have you been to so far?
Collectively,
including those two. Buffalo. You went to Buffalo.
I went to Houston, Buffalo, DC.
Did you go to New York? Did you go to the New York game?
No, we haven't. So what I'm trying to do is, and this is my philosophy. Buffalo we just had to go. We had a couple of people out there that invited us. But like New England and the Jets, we could go there every year. So depending on how the schedule falls, we try to choose stadiums that we won't typically be able to travel to. So we'll get those out of the way. So I'm trying to see every stadium, at least every stadium period in the NFL. So depending on how the schedule falls, we pick the games like that. So we haven't went to New Jersey or New England yet, but yeah, I've been in the DC. We went out there to the Commanders. I went to Seattle, Buffalo, obviously, Houston so far. So this is only my second year doing it. So we try to do 2 a season. Now this year we might try to do 3 a season. Okay. So I have another 3 on my under my belt after the end of this season though. I tell you what, Buffalo still is number 1 stadium. I'm telling you right, as far as the loudness. Buffalo is still number 1, but
yeah, it beats the Colts, man.
Man, listen, it's crazy out there. But the nicest stadium I've been to was Houston, the Texas. That stadium is nice out there. It's cool. It have AC on the inside of it. The seats nice, so yeah, it's a pretty dope stadium. Well, Michael K, I wasn't saying. I was just saying y'all was loud. I wasn't saying y'all was nice. Out there in Buffalo. But yeah, comparing that one to Seattle, because everyone talk about the 12th man or whatever. Yeah, I mean it's pretty loud. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty loud out there. Maybe it's because no, it wasn't because they were having a good season. Yeah, they was having a good season at that point, but it was like because the lady next to me, she was like, in a minute you're not going to be able to hear what we saying, and it did get like that. But I guess for me. In Buffalo, it's like that the whole game. Like it never stopped. In Seattle, it died down some. In Buffalo, it just never stopped. Them people are crazy out there. You got Big Coach Song. You know what, Fred? I'll tell you this. I didn't thankfully for me, I didn't experience no terrible cold freezing weather yet. Well, at least not traveling for football. I have when I was I went to Cleveland and when I went to Ohio and I went to Jersey. It was freezing up there. The time I went there, and when I went to, but oddly enough, both times I went to New York, wasn't cold, so I lucked up from that standpoint.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Who knows? Depending on what time, me and Lewis might go to Skidmark Stadium.
But Lewis said he wanted to witness the stadium before they changed out of it, so we might be making another appearance up there.
Yeah, because my wife's got family in Rochester, so hopefully,
yeah, I mean that's right there. I want to go see the. Go ahead, Lou.
No, I was saying, Tone. Yeah, I definitely listening to your stories that you and Alex just went up there. I think I definitely want to go check Buffalo out, man, and before they go to the new stadium.
And they start early too.
Absolutely.
On the walk to the stadium, they own you.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had them videos. Now, them videos I wish I had to show you, Shake, when we like in the middle of the whole all the Buffalo Bills fans, they going crazy. They singing the Buffalo song and
Yeah,
the fight song, and just like I mean, at least I enjoyed. I had a good time, and it was like friendly banter back and forth. I didn't have no bad, no bad experiences, but I would tell you, it is a great back and forth when you go at them. And oh yeah, Crypto putting the cardboard box in the oven. The tailgate is pretty dope out there too. It is pretty dope. I'll say that Buffalo too, they got a pretty dope tailgating experience. The Seattle one, I'm not gonna lie, that it got to be the worst one that I've been to when it comes to the tailgate, because you basically just tailgate in bars. Like all of the stadiums are in one area, so all of them is on like basically like the same block, and they have one road running. Like some of the stadiums on this side, the other ones on that side, and then you got the arena somewhere like in the corner, and you just it's a long road, and there's a bunch of bars on the right side of the road. That's where everyone tailgates at. And it was just like I could go to a bar for this. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone will come and bring their own food and set up and cook and bring their own music. No, it's just like going out, so you don't get to pick the type of music you listen to and things of that nature.
My neighbor, I have a neighbor. His name's Tom. He lives across the street from me, and every time I go outside to get my mail or something, and he's outside, he goes, "Hey, let's go Buffalo."
That song sticks to. I'm telling you right now, especially when I went up there. When I went up there, they beat us 48-28. So just imagine how many times I heard that song.
No, every time I I see him outside, he always says that. Hey.
It does. I'm not. It sticks to you. It's catchy. It's catchy. I'll tell you that. I was like, man, maybe we need to upgrade our fight song just a little bit. I'm just saying.
What about Seattle and Houston? Between Seattle and Houston, what do you think about that?
Okay, so if having a good time, they kind of compare, because I had a good time both, because both times we had someone from the state out there that like showed us around.
You met up with Doc, right?
I would say, and I would slightly get an edge to Houston, because I'm not going with Doc to Crypto with Doc the place Doc took us to. I said, I was highly impressed. I was highly impressed in the spot where Doc took us to. So I had a great time. Plus, I've never had like cowboy stuff and things of that nature. So we went to this nice little cowboy store. I got to try on some like cowboy hats, boots, and like jean jackets, and a bunch of stuff that you are not going to see when you here in the state of Florida, period, let alone Miami. But so I would say Houston, I had a really nice time. I got to meet Grumpy out there, and he threw a tailgate for us, so I did get the tailgating experience as well as the game experience. I think that's what kind of knocked Seattle down a little bit, because their stadium is nice, the fans are nice. Oh, well, I'll say this then. You know what? Seattle it's going to be last, because I put DC over it too, because we was able to tailgate at DC, and DC actually have a casino in there, so you could bet in there. You could live bet inside the stadium in DC. But Seattle, if I got one knock for Seattle, you got people coming to these games. People come there for beer and food. Yeah. Liquor, you could buy beer from the bars. You cannot buy liquor. There's one spot all the way. Thankfully, I was on the side where they had the one spot where you could buy liquor. But if you're on the opposite side of the stadium, you have to walk all the way around to the corner of the stadium. And for me, not knowing that, I walked all the way to the opposite side, because I thought it was on the opposite side, only for them to send me right back to where I was sitting at, to say, yo, as soon as you get out the gate, it's right to your right, right there. And once you buy that, you cannot leave that area until you finish your drink. So the experience when you go in there, it's like, you don't get the full experience. Like when you go, because I like to take a look at the stadium, walk around. I like to compare the team stores, see how their setup is compared to our stadium and other stadiums. And you cannot do that walking around. Like for instance, when we was in Houston, like at halftime, me and Grumpy, we met up in a little area in the spill out. I went to Trill Burgers It's Bombi's restaurant. They have one in there. Got me a Trill Burger, and we was able to walk around, chill, have drinks, watch the game, and enjoy the actual stadium while having our beverages. But no, you can't do that in Seattle. So I would give, if I had to have for my trips, it'd be clearly Buffalo number 1, Houston number 2, Washington, and then Seattle coming forth.
So there's an interesting story that you told about you in a nightclub and you seeing certain players.
Well, that was that was in Seattle. I didn't want. So you trying to get? I ain't trying to get messy.
Hey, listen, you don't have to name names.
But well, yeah. So there is, and that kind of what pissed you off. Well, at least people like me off when you know what these guys are doing before the game, and then you go out there and perform like that. It's inexcusable when they thought an individual that was with us was a football player. So they kindly escorted everyone to the side door, and you open it there, and you see the Dolphin players with a couple of young ladies, I guess and having a good time, and special bar and all, things of that nature. So that's all I'm not gonna give too much. I already gave the story. I'm not gonna get too much. But they was partying out there like that.
But one thing, by the way, for y'all interested, this is what Lou does for a living. It's on Twitter Spaces and on YouTube. He be cooking folk.
That is a fact.
And but no, look, man. This is the first time I met Lewis, and then the last meeting we had.
That was the jersey swap. That was fire. I mean the shirt swap.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I see why I get this exclusive TFTG shirt.
Yeah. And then I met OJ McDuffie, Seth Levitt. I met Zach Thomas. Chef Jew. This is the one time me and Batman Miss Fins went to Buffalo with Stephen D.
With the Zumba gear on? No, we can't do that. No, sir.
Of course, you got Doc Brown. What's that song you always sing when you see Doc Brown?
Who?
Yeah, man.
Oh, you talking about look at that boy with them Daisy Dukes on?
But yeah, man, this is what it's all about. Look, this is the one thing I would look. I don't get many views like Reason, whatever, but I would never change a thing because the people I got to meet, the experiences I got to have by me doing this show is so much more valuable than anything you guys could imagine, bro. I went to Indianapolis last year, and by the way, you're gonna love Indianapolis.
That's why I want to go. Did we go there this year? No, right?
Yeah, we go this year again.
Oh, that might be. I'm gonna have to put that on the list. May have to. Depends on how the schedule pop out, because I know that's a fact. Let them know, Miami Fan Talk Show. But I wanted to go to Indianapolis because we went 2 years ago as well, right? I think we did.
We went last year.
No, we went last year and maybe 3 years ago
because we finished in the same place as them. Okay,
so yeah, I do want to check out Indianapolis because I don't think we're gonna have that many opportunities to go over there. Seems like we go to Houston more than anywhere else in that division. They always have us in Houston, so. But I ain't want to miss the opportunity to go kick it out there with Doc Brown and me Grumpy too as well.
All right, here's $1 million question. Now we know why you became a Dolphins fan because Lewis became a dad, and you became because of your stepdad, and your mom kind of got mad because she's a Cowboys fan.
She's a Cowboys fan, yes.
She wanted you to convert.
No, sir.
So that was a quick recap. But no, how did you guys became the Blitz pickup? How did you, Lewis and Alex, brainstorm, and how did that come about?
Well, it was initially it was supposed to be Lou. First of all, Lou is the one, for anyone that know, the one that introduced me to the YouTube side of everything. I met him on Twitter Spaces. If anyone know me, I'm very combative. I like people that I could go back and forth with and have whether it become a heated debate, whether it become a nice dialogue back and forth. I just like people that stand on their takes, and it makes me it makes for better competition. A conversation. I'm sorry, right? So I guess
if you want a good debate, this guy right here will give you one.
Yeah, oh yeah, crypto too. Yeah, you don't stand on it. As long as he's not calling you a plutocrat. But yeah, so
or a fascist.
Fascist. So he he came. He asked me to come over here. That's when I first jumped on TFTG, and so after a while, he was like, yo, people are taking to you on YouTube. You should what you think about doing it permanently or starting a show or joining the show, a channel. So we're looking into a couple of things like that, and I remember one of them didn't fall through, and Alex gave me a call, and he was like, yo, well, I thought you and Lewis was gonna start a show, and I let him know what happened, and then he was like, well, why don't we just start our own? You think Lou would be down with that? I'm like, yeah, for sure. I said, just let me call him. I said, I haven't talked to him about it. I haven't done that, but I'm telling you the answer is yes right now. As soon as I reach out to him, and sure enough, it ain't take him but a second to be like, I'm down. What we doing? And then that's when we came up. We started jointly. We started throwing out names here and there, logos, and we all came up. That's how we landed with the Blitz pickup. At first, it was the Gridiron Wave, I think it was at first,
mm-hmm.
And then I think Lewis said something about a Blitz, and he said something about the Blitz, and then we came up, and then I don't know who came up with it. We were like the Blitz pickup, because I wanted something that was not just Dolphin centric. It'll be football centric, so that you could, when you want to talk about other teams and other, things of that nature, that you won't be stuck with just a now one singular topic. So when the Blitz pickup, I'm like, well, every team in the league has a Blitz pickup, and I like when people blitz. Hey, who pick up the Blitz, right? Shake, Lewis ain't gonna admit this, but the trenches, the most important position.
Hey, by the way, would you guys want to see Rashad Brown in an episode of in the Blitz in the blender? I would like to see that. Would you?
Shake, have you ever had a conversation with Rashad?
Don't know why you want to see Rashad.
That boy's always in the blender. That boy don't know what he be talking about. So, hey, man, listen, I think Rashad would be a good guest to get on the blender.
Hey, by the way, Scott Jackson, this some bullshit. You in Indiana? I was in Indianapolis last year. Damn, Scott Jackson, I was in your town, and damn it, man, I tell you what, if I do go back to Indy, dog, I gotta meet you. Real talk. But I'm sorry about that. That's my
So basically, that's how it started. We all came up with the name, and then figured out how we was gonna do it. 1, 2 shows, 5 shows a week. Due to scheduling, we had to break it down, like skip days, because as you can see now, it's called 7:30 is for a reason, because the scramble to get on that show is like we do a lot just to make the show. But Lewis will tell you, I was very selective and very picky when it came down.
Is this true?
St. Louis, who stood my, oh gosh, no, say. But yeah, Louis gets I was very selective and very picked up with the people that I was willing to work with, because I wanted to do it with people that just had as much passion as I did, and I didn't want to have to motivate no one to want to do this. We all do this for the love. We do this. The work that we put in is because we love this team. We talked about the Dolphins all the time, whether it's on our channel, other channels, whether it's on Twitter or X, in Spaces. So why not create something to where we can make our own and just build our brand? So, I was like, nah, whenever, one thing I do, and Lewis to say that, one thing I like is when I know that the person that I'm working with, they're standing on their own business. So when I'm not around, when he's not around, let's say it's a debate or whatever's going on, and we both know we're all 3 of us. It's just us 2 now. I don't want people to forget about Alex, but we all know that when we're out, we're gonna represent the Blitz pickup very well. There will never be a embarrassing story or nothing that would make our brand look bad. So I was strategic when I wanted to pick my partners that I wanted to work with, and Louis was no brainer.
Hey man, listen, Lewis. I had on the Smoke Lounge. Lewis was one of the original co-hosts, and he's a good dude to chop it up with. You know what I'm saying? And he's always welcome there anyway. So
And look at the dedication, Shake. You saw him where he was showing us backstage, the stuff that he's dealing with. After work, go home, put in that work, and still manage to make the shows. You can't. That's like what we say. You can't coach that. That's not. You can't. That's itself. You can't coach that.
That is a fact. Shake, you already know. It was an absolute pleasure doing the Smoke Lounge with you. And again, I'm still part of that. Again, anything you'll ever be involved with, Shake, I will be involved. And then the way the Blitz pickup came up, it's crazy. Like, to be honest, I didn't really know Tony or Alex from a can of paint, to be honest with you. Interacted a couple times on Twitter. To Tony's point, got into some heated debates. We had a phone call, and through, again, this is something that I know Tony will agree with because we talk about it all the time, is when things happen organically, right? Like when I first met Tony, there was no plan or indication that, hey, I want to do a show with this guy, or this guy's going to end up being a good friend of mine and now a brother to me. Like that wasn't a thought. But when it happens organically, that's when you get magic, right? And I think from the Blitz pickup perspective, we're still young, growing and stuff, but you just see it's the chemistry. Even when we're loud, screaming, maybe cutting each other off, there's always a respect factor, and it's competition, right? Like, I'm sure Tony wants to be better than me. I want to be better than Tony, and Alex wants to be better than all of us. And at the end of the day, that's what, it's not that we're stepping over toes or anything like that. It's just, we're passionate. We all have different takes, and it just makes for good content, bro. So it's the same thing like when I get up with Crypto or you, Shake, or anybody else. So from my perspective, when I got that phone call, to Tony's point, it was, what is Tua's throwing time? 2.7 seconds? I think I said yes.
2.4, I think it is.
Hey, by the way, real quick, put the link to your channel in your in the private chat, please. But go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the offer was extended to me, and before Tony could even give me the full rundown of what his vision for the show was, to his point, I was all in, bro. Like, again, things happen organically, and to Tony's point, when you trust the people that you're in business with or working with, or it makes it easy to, again, y'all know what I'm doing here at the house and working and doing whatever, but it's never been an issue going and doing the show around 7:35, 7:40, 7:45. Y'all know how it goes, right? We're going to be late, but I know Tony will be there. I know I'll be there. And Alex hopefully will catch up to the 100th episode, to your point, Shake, in about 2 years. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man.
Hey, by the way, man,
it was great.
There's only one thing I hate about this cigar. So fucking expensive. God damn.
That's a Cohiba, right, Shake?
It's something else, but I'll send you the picture of the label, the ring.
Okay. All right.
But it's a Cuban cigar, though. It's expensive as fuck, though.
There you go.
Like $30 a pop or something like that. So
hey, Scott Jackson, that's horrible. 2.4 seconds to travel 5 yards.
Goddamn. By the way, this is Frozen Fin Fan. Hey, real quick, speaking of Frozen Fin Fan, I would like to, if you're on social media, man, let me know. I would like to have you on here as well. Because he has his own channel, from what I was told. Speaking of guests, let me see, where the hell is that list?
I'll put the link in there twice.
Okay.
Once on StreamYard, once on YouTube.
Let me see, who do we have for guests? No, I wish I had her as a guest. No, sorry, wrong one. No.
Damn, what the hell was that?
I was just fucking with y'all. Anyway, listen. We got DJ Vince coming soon. Y'all know DJ Vince.
Shout out to Vince, man. That's my guy.
Paris Love. He's coming this Thursday. And next Thursday, another young up-and-coming show. By the way, he lives in Buffalo. He lives in New York. So this guy right here, Finn's Posse with my man Big C, he is going to be joining us next week, Thursday. So I am excited for this show as well. And yeah, man. So, all right, now that we got this, all right, now you do film breakdown, correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you had any prior experience to breaking down film before you start this venture here on the Blitz Pickup?
No, this is our first time. Well, I don't know about Lou, but I know it's my first time actually doing film breakdown.
And what did you learn?
Well, one thing I learned watching the film is 100% more different than just watching the game live. Even when you just watching the replays and the highlights and things like, there's a lot of things that you could pinpoint on film that you can't with because of the camera angles that you get the end zone, and then you get the bird's eye view. When you get that bird's eye view and you see the how the play is designed, and you can see the mistakes, you could see, you know, when players are out of position, you could pinpoint the type of defense that they're running, the packages. Like it's completely different than just watching the game. And you could, you know, especially when you know route concepts and things of that nature, it's a completely, you understand. I'll tell you this, you understand more that sometimes players are out of positions and sometimes coaches just make bad plays. It made you understand, and at least me, appreciate the players that when you see a play breakdown and they make a play anyways, you appreciate that so much more after you notice how difficult it is, because you don't see it that often.
All right, so let me ask you this then: how can you? Because one thing that Lewis preaches a lot. You know, I listen to Lewis a lot, and he says that the players are not executing. How do you know? How can you tell the difference between a bad play call and players not just executing? How would you differentiate the two?
So is it different? Like, okay, so on offense, like for instance, like on offense, first thing you notice is you can tell when a guy's lollygagging, running lazy routes. Often when it comes to the trenches, you can tell missed blocks, missed assignments. Like especially if you understand blocking concept, like if it's supposed to be a combo block, you know, if it's zone blocking scheme, if you understand assignments, and you see, let's just say you see 4 players, they're all, you know how they say slide blocking or slant blocking. And you see one guy is like literally misses a play, you'd be like, oh no, you were supposed to get this guy because this is your assignment here. You could see that, and you understand. Let's just say if a guard is pulling, you understand you got to get to the second level. So, for instance, it's one play when they run this crack block with the tight ends, which he had to come from one side all the way to the other. The tackle on that side is supposed to leave that end, you know, unblocked. To the naked eye, he looked like he missed a tackle, or, oh, you went to the wrong guy. No, that play is designed for the tight end to crack block him by surprise. You understand? So that's things of that nature is what you pick up. So you could say, oh, well, that was a mistake by either the tight end, or that wasn't a mistake by the tackle. That was the tight end was supposed to pick up that. Let's say on defense, if you see everyone on defense is running cover 2. You know, and we understand cover 2. Let's just stick to the safeties right now. They both have deep passes. If you see a safety in the middle of the field on cover 2, then you're out of position. So if you see it when you start seeing them safeties late, and you were like, well, how did Tyree get open? That was a dumb play call. Blah, blah. No, he was in cover 2. He was supposed to have everything over top. You know, and another thing, for instance, there. Let's say, let me slow this down. Let's say you're in a matchup zone. If you understand zone concepts, right?
Yeah.
They'll just say linebacker is supposed to pick up the short, you know, the short intermediate area. Middle linebacker got the middle area, and safety, cornerback, receivers, they're let's say all of them in quarters. Let's just say quarters. So you know all of them got deep quarters. Anything deep, this is your quarter, this is your quarter, this is your quarter, this is your quarter. If you see a player wide open in the middle, a lot of people would be like, man, why? Where's the safety? Well, he got deep quarters. So if someone is running a deep post behind him, he has to get back there. He don't have the guy in front of him. That's the linebacker not getting his depth. You know, so it's things of that nature, what you see and be like, no, you have to understand what you're watching and what coverage they're in to understand, okay, that was or let's say they're running, you see them running all 4, 4 verticals. Mm-hmm. And your coach keep them in cover 2. That's bad coaching. 4 verticals is designed to beat the cover 2 because the seams is one of the weaknesses of the cover 2. Yeah. So things of that nature, that's how you be like, okay, no, that was a coaching problem, or that was a player's problem. You know. If I hope I ain't say too much and confuse people that much.
No, it's all good, man. Listen, when you one of these days I got to get you on, me and you one-on-one. We'll do a film breakdown one-on-one, so you can detail.
Yes.
I definitely will do that. It'll be a smoke lounge episode. Any well, I smoke here too anyway, so it doesn't matter. So no, let me ask you this. This is the elephant in the room. Okay, I remember when I introduced you last. I watched your episode today. Like I said, I watched Lou's episode a million times. So, you guys were, I want to say, 2 years. You guys had, you guys were still saying that you believed in him somewhat.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
He still was giving him, willing to give him opportunity.
Yeah, giving him the benefit of the doubt. Now you guys are out. Does it have anything to do with the all 22 that you guys been watching for the reason that you guys are no longer believing in him?
That's a big, for me, that is a big, like when you see the limitations, I say, oh, it opened my mind out to like, okay, him at his best, what do the team needs for him to be successful? It's a possibility, but I think it's asking for too much. And that's just what, for my opinion, not saying it's not
Frozen
possible.
Finn fan.
Not saying it's not possible. I don't know about what Lou answer is.
Yeah, for me, man, like this is the first time, Shake, that I've kind of broke down film with Tony this season on the Blitz Pickup. Now I broke down film like in the leisure of my own house and maybe some backstage stuff with a couple people here and there. I'm gonna be honest though, being a Dolphin fan is tough when you're listening, and especially Shake, Tone, you know this, when we're in Twitter spaces all day interacting with people, and then we have a YouTube channel and stuff, and you hear all these crazy narratives, right, about, well, the offensive line this, and the quarterback this, and the head coach this, and so for me, the enjoyment, yeah, I love doing the all 22 breakdown and breaking down film with Tony, but the enjoyment for me is kind of taken away because of the interactions when I have, like, when you hear all week, let's say, that the offensive line was terrible, but then the film dictates, well, there was plays there. Like, they made some good plays, right? The all 22, it gives you a different perspective of how you want to realize who you're talking to, or maybe if they have an agenda or whatever. And I would say that's the biggest thing that I take away from film. That's why, Shake, people say, well, Lou, you flip-flop a lot and you do this. Because when I hear the narratives, well, Mike McDaniel was figured out, and Tony knows this because I've told Tony this plenty of times, even when we're breaking down the film. Well, remember when they said this? Well, look at this play. This guy's wide open underneath. Or
you want to give an example, Lou? You want to give one
before example? You do give the example, I want to give you this, not pushback, but let me give you this devil's advocate. Look, right? One thing, I was talking with OJ McDuffie, and it's easy to see on the R22, but when you're from a quarterback's perspective,
and
you got linebackers coming at you that run 4-3, it's harder to see a guy that's open from that lens. What do you say to that?
I 100% agree with you, because remember when you asked me what was the difference between what did I learn from breaking down film? What did I say? You have the overhead view. It's when you're watching the game, you kind of get the same type of view that the players get. And it is limited in a bunch in a large capacity. So I would say I would give OJ McDuffie 100%. And he played the game, so he understands that, right? Mm-hmm. For me, well, I would say I get it, but that's why they get paid millions of dollars to overcome that type of stuff.
And by the way, that's one of my proud things. I got to interview OJ McDuffie. So,
and congratulations. But say,
absolutely, that's
I wanted to do something because I wanted to go get an example, and I want to announce live on this show. And I just saw Frozen Finn fan say he subbed. appreciate everyone that sell to the Blitz Picker. Blitz Picker. We have officially hit our 500 subscribers. We have 501. So thank y'all. We will be having our live giveaway on our show. So appreciate you, Shake, for all your help and even Aiden to that, helping us get to that 5. We hit that mark. We was 3 away, so we gained 4. I don't know if it was on this show or before, but thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all. But
man,
go ahead, Sean.
You know what's funny is I even watch the show while I'm doing a show, a panel, because panels are crazy anyway. So I need a distraction from all.
I noticed that a lot. I'll be like, Shake is in the chat, and he's live on TFTG. But that's much appreciated, man.
Yeah, that's awesome news, man. Not only Shake that religiously comes over there to the Blitz Pickup, he's always talking about it, but the people also in this chat listening.
Yeah, for sure.
I see a lot of people in here that usually are over there with us as well. And again, to get to 500, still young, up and coming, it's definitely a mark, and we couldn't do it without you guys. So we definitely appreciate it.
And one thing I'm really I'm giving you props in your cigars is that I see channels with more subscribers and less viewers. You're constantly hitting 40 and 50 views at a clip. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's why we appreciate our like look at the chat right now, the interaction. Look, you see Powerhouse J saying they've been subscribed since we was under 50. 50
I was like one of the first 10.
But, yeah, so that's the thing. So, and that's probably what helps us out, because we know a lot of our subscribers, or they watched us on X or YouTube, and so we interact with them. I remember one of the comments we got on our last show. We're like, man, the reason they wanted us to run 3 straight shows for the Cover the Drive, we'd be like, because y'all interact with us a lot. And I say, we appreciate y'all. So I'll tell you this, I've been getting messages and private messages say, hey, finish your thought first before you get in the chat, because I always want to at least show them love. So I had to learn that myself. Like, okay, let me finish what I'm saying and get it through, instead of always cutting off mid-sentence, because I don't want to miss, especially something that catches my eye. But that just show you how much we appreciate our chat, and we don't want to forget that, because once you grow and you get 20, 30, 40, you're not going to be able to interact with everyone, but you are going to remember those day one guys, and you're going to have a keen eye towards that. So I wanted to build that up now.
See, and for the new people that maybe haven't watched us, this right here is why Tony is the nice one on the show. I'm going to be honest. I get in the chat to get at y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm trying to get at y'all's neck. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, listen, man, it is what it is. We definitely appreciate everybody.
Definitely do, y'all. He's the mean guy.
But from my perspective, I'm coming at y'all's neck. I'm just telling you now. But nah, it's all in fun, man. It's all in love. Again, I've been known to maybe lose my cool once or twice. These two gentlemen could tell you. Both of these guys are my brother, but I've had heated debates with both of them, right? And it makes the conversation, I think Tony was saying it earlier, it just makes the conversation better at that point. Because if I'm debating with somebody and someone is just telling me, yes, I agree, it's boring, right? I need someone to tell me, no, Lewis, you're dead wrong, this is why, or no, Shake, I don't agree with you, because then now we can go back and forth. And for me, whether I agree with a person or not, what I will tell anybody that's listening is I always leave a conversation at least trying to understand the other side.
And learning something.
Learning something, right, Tone? Like, even if I leave the conversation, I'm like, well, still, I know I don't agree with the point. At least I have a better understanding of what you were trying to get around or what your thought process is. So, again, man, listen, the Dolphin community and just the community that we've all built, like the circle and friends and people we've met, it's been a blessing so far, man. So
no doubt,
I'm enjoying it.
And I got to ask you, what advice would you give people that starting out? By the way, Frozen Fin fan, if you want, and Big Philly too,
drop the link.
Y'all want to leave the link to y'all channels, please do so people subscribe to y'all as well. Because Big Philly has it. He does all sports, not just Dolphins. And And yeah, leave the subscribe. Leave the whatchamacallit.
Yeah, drop the link to the show, to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, Frozen Fin Fan. Is that the name of the actual channel? Like Frozen Fin Fan? What's the name of the channel?
You could put the link in.
Let's get into the draft real quick.
Okay.
What you guys think of the draft?
Oh, now I know this is going to be a hot take because a lot of people disagree with mine. Well, both of ours. I gave him an A-, and I hear a lot of people. Yes, Mark. Listen, Michael K, you are most definitely. Yes, I don't care who it is. Well, hopefully you don't pick a Dolphin jersey because what you want to do with the jersey. But yes, you could pick whatever is a jersey of your liking, Michael K. So yes, Bill fan. We have one of my friends is a Patriots fan. So yeah, everyone is
as long as Michael K. If Michael K. wins the jersey tone, as long as he doesn't give it to one of them warlocks he be hanging out with, I'll be fine with it. You know there's a bunch of warlocks running around Buffalo, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But yeah, I gave him an A-, Shake. I don't know what Lewis. You still got your grade, Lou?
Yeah, I got it as an A, man. I'll let you give your thoughts and then I can give mine. But yeah, I got it as an A tone.
Yeah, so you want to know why, Shake, or you got something else?
Okay,
so I gave it as an A because the people that they targeted and the people that they ended up selecting were the people with the mindset that I liked. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, this guy probably was better talented or had more talent." If you go to my show when I said it on that Wednesday show, I said, "Listen, for what I'm looking for in this draft is mindset, attitude. So the guy like the Grant, when they got Kenny Grant, that was the guy that I wanted them to select there. If it wasn't Nicky Moore or like Kenny Grant, that's the one that I thought they was going to get there. Cool. Now I wanted them to move back and probably get them a little bit lower down. I thought they was going to be able to grab a guy like Greg Zabel in the 20s. So initially I was like, I might have to drop it down because I wanted them to attack the offensive trenches first because the talent was so deep when it came to tackle that I was like, you can afford to get a tackle and that drop off wouldn't be so steep as opposed to how it was when it came to the offensive side of the trenches. But when I saw what changed my mind with not giving him a B was when I saw that Greg Zabel actually went 18. He didn't go. I thought they could get him between 24 and 29. When I saw him go 18, I said, well, dang, the way the draft fell, everyone was still there. Like everyone. You remember our favorite? It was Malachi Stark, Nicky Moore, Kenneth Grant, Greg Zabel, Will Johnson. They all was there for us to pick. Like everyone we wanted, they was there. So they had whoever they wanted. So I'm like, it didn't make sense for teams to trade up. And so maybe they didn't find a trade down partner. So we're taking it out of consideration. And then moving up, and I know a lot of people don't like the draft capital we gave up. I like to have pointed out that as far as when it comes to losing a pick, they only lost one pick, which was 98. The other ones was swap. So you move from the 4th to the 5th, right? Because you gave up your 4th to get a 5th, but you also move from 48 to 37. So I think those two canceled each other out. And I was like, okay, you gave up 98 to move up 11 spots. I'm not mad at it. That's how I looked at the draft. And then on the second, giving up that second 116th pick to get a next year's. Not only did they move down, they still got a pick. It was just later in the 5th rounder. So that gave us 3 5th rounders, and then get a next year 3rd, which is going to be a top 100 pick. A top 100 pick. So now we have 2 top 100 picks starting already going to next season. So I gave him credit for that. I know a lot of people took away credit for that. So I'm just giving you a reason why my grade was increasing while other people's grade was decreasing because they wanted players. Gotcha. And then the value that we got with that 5th round with Jordan Phillips. Yeah, a dog. No, he had a 3rd round grade. So you still have value there. And then you top that off. I'm not as big as fan of Korean yours, so I'm going to let people have at it with that. But you go get me in the 6th round, right? You go get me a running back, Ollie Gordon Jr., which was the Big 12 Player of the Year in 2023. Physical, hard, tough-nosed bruiser. those mindset is what them addressing the players with the mindset that I wanted helped me give a right. And I gave right before I ended up, I gave Jordan Phillips the first thing he said when the coach called him, coach, send me the playbook. That's mindset. You can't coach that. Ali Gordon, he said, I'm trying to run through people. I'm picking me or you, and I'm picking me. It's going to be either me or you, and I'm picking me each time. And the last one, when they asked him about his pass protection, right? Blitz picking up, he said, I want to make sure that's your last time blitzing ever. So team mindset, right? This is what we want, dogs. And then last but not least, who on Mr. Jonah Savayanea. When they asked him how he feel about moving from tackle to guard, he said, I prefer that. You want to know why he preferred? Because he wanted to put his hands on people. Yeah. He want to hurt people. Mentality. So that's why y'all want to know. That's why I'm hyped. Y'all know I like the violence. So that's why I was hyped about it. And I understand the people that wasn't really, big on the type of talent or the talent that we missed out on.
And so what do you think? What did you make about what he says? He's only blocked for Samoan quarterbacks. So technically, Zach Wilson is of Samoan descent. So
is he? Or
it is. He wants a Samoan player in 2020.
There you have it, right in his wheelhouse. Bring him home, baby.
So, no, I did a show with Q on Samoan Polynesian players.
Yeah,
and I did a list, and believe it or not, Zach Wilson was on that list because he's of Hawaiian descent.
Okay.
So
Q was. I remember Q was one of the people that wasn't happy with the draft. He wasn't. But yeah, that was my reason for giving a minus.
All right, and all right, Lou, what are your thoughts, please?
Yeah, it's kind of on the same kind of line, Shake. I would say for me, what I said on our show and what I have been saying in the draft, it's all about value for me, right? You got value at 13 with Kenny Grant. There was a lot of people saying he was probably the best D tackle available in the draft. So you got that at 13. That's good value. Even though you traded up, arguably, Jonah Savayanea, with his flexibility of being able to play both tackle positions and both guard positions, that's great value, right? Jordan Phillips in the 4th round, I believe, to get him a guy that's going to contribute. Maybe not a day one starter, but definitely in the rotation on that defensive line. You're going to get value from that pick. And then Ollie Gordon in the 6th round, bro. 2 years ago, if that kid comes out, I think he led the college football in touchdowns with 21 last year, having 13. Again, to get him in the 6th round, another guy late in the draft that is going to be a contributor this season. And then the kicker, right, Shake? Is the UDFAs, bro. You get a UDFA. Armstrong, the wide receiver out of Arkansas, right? Just to name one. 6'4", runs a 4.3, led the SEC in yardage, and you get this guy as a UDFA, a guy that went undrafted, and you bring him into the building. I just think overall, Shake, to end the conversation, it's just great value. You look from the 1st round all the way to UDFAs, and you can find value. And to me, that's what an organization is always looking for, is the value. And in my opinion, I think the Dolphins hit a home run in this draft.
All right. So, all right, let me ask you on the spot questions now. It's time we do 2 more segments. I like the next one because I put a lot of thought into the next segment after this segment.
Okay.
It's gonna be fun. So, especially with this Crown Royal in me. All right. On the spot questions. Miami Dolphin, Alan Poupart was with Chris Perkins, and he was saying that, or is it David Hyde? I can't remember, one of those beat writers, but they were talking about, and I clipped the receipt on my Twitter. You saw it, Tony. They had a chance to move to the AFC South.
Yeah.
Would have loved to move to the South, or do you love the rivalries that we currently have? We'll start
you
with
want me
Tony.
first, or Lou? You want to go first?
Go ahead,
if it was back then, I wouldn't have been opposed to it. Now that I've grown, I'm 40. I'm 41. I'm sorry, I just turned 41. Right? I don't want to listen. I hate Buffalo too much. I hate the Jets. I hate them more than any team in our division, and the Patriots too. I don't want to lose those rivalries. I don't want to build no different rivalries and learn how to hate another team. No. Now, initially, if we would have moved over there, right? Because was it the West or the South? It was the South, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you got Jaguars and Tampa Bay. I mean, no, you got Jaguars and who else is over there?
Jaguars, Tennessee, and Houston.
Tennessee and Houston. Now you have that South rivalry. That now we're used to that rivalry from here. So initially, I would have loved it because I would. First of all, if anyone know a thing about Miami, Duval and Miami beef everywhere we go.
Trust me. I'm from Miami, and I remember the infamous fights on grad night.
On grad night, thank you, Shake. On grad night, they walking around talking about Duval.
And everybody like Dade County. Duval,
like,
Dade County.
Yeah,
Duval,
it's like
Dade County.
That's a natural rivalry. So I would have loved them to have done that at the beginning when I still was able to grow into those rivalries because that would have came natural. It would have been natural for me. So yeah, but at this particular moment, I know the AFC, the old schools, like I already hate Thurman Thomas because he killed us in the playoffs all the time. You know, we all hate Tom Brady, but I take pride in being a team that beat him more than any other team while he was there. He has his worst record against us. So, not his worst record, but he lost more times against us than any other team in the league. Yeah. That's including the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. I might add.
You only lost to Buffalo 3 times.
Right. So, I already built that, and then we already know the Monday Night Miracle. That I would never get over the Monday Night Miracle. The Jets will always be my number one hated team because I witnessed that, and it has a special place in my heart because my mama told me that we was going to lose, and I called her crazy because we was up so much. And do you know how tough it was for me to I was living upstairs at the time. My mom was living downstairs. For her to walk upstairs and just look at me and say, I told you so, and just walk. I couldn't say nothing. My mom was a Dallas Cowboy fan, by the way, so if y'all don't know. That memory, I would never forget that. So yeah, I will now.
Oh man,
I'd rather stay.
I'll tell you what. Your mom's from the hood. She's from the hood.
Yes.
And I know she could trash talk. One thing about moms, black moms, they will try. Listen. One thing about black moms I know about, 2 things. Number 1, they will trash talk the hell out of you. And 2, there's nothing you could do about it.
I was just going to say, you can't say nothing back. So yes, Jets, y'all gonna always be my number one hated rivalry. I'm sorry, and I don't want to lose that rivalry. I enjoy beating them every single season. Yes, I don't care. That's why I say I don't care how bad we get. We got to beat the Jets twice every year. Even if we tank, we got to go 2-15.
Yeah, I'm with the same thing. Like from a logistics standpoint, like yeah, sounds good. The travel, playing within the division, if you're in the South besides Houston, everything would kind of be close around. So from a logistics standpoint, I get it. But since Tony basically said he was 41, I'll be turning 44. I was built and bred on the same thing. It was hate Buffalo, hate Jets, hate New England. I would hate to not have those rivalries. Like being a young man in the city of Miami and then obviously moving out, but still just the fandom from afar. Like we'll never get those times back of watching Dan Marino versus the Buffalo Bills or Marino versus the Jets and stuff. Like that's what I was raised on. So yeah, from a logistics standpoint, yeah, I get going to the AFC South or whatever. All right, cool. But no, the rivalries of just being in the East, knowing the Dolphins have always been in the East, for me at least, I wouldn't want to let that go.
Yeah, I hate Wayne Quebec, Keyshawn Johnson. I hate all of them.
Yeah, everybody.
Next question. And Louis, you can answer first, and Tony. The Miami Dolphins fight song, do you think we should revamp it or keep it the same?
I'm going to be honest with you, Shake. I don't even know the fight song, to be honest with you. I really don't. I really don't. I don't know. So I guess my opinion would be for the people that
every time we score a touchdown.
Yeah,
I still don't know it.
I still don't know it, to be honest with you. Listen, if we're scoring a touchdown, I'm looking down at the floor to grab my drink. That's what I.
That's a fact.
Or I'm smacking fives with the person next to me or whatever. Like I'm not listening for the actual song. So, for the people that love the song or whatever, cool, let's keep it. And for the people that don't like it, cool, let's move off. For me though, I could care less, man. As long as the Dolphins are putting points on the board and they're winning games, that's all that. We don't even have to have a song at that point. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But listen, for whoever, whatever floats your boat, I guess, it's good with me. If you like it, keep it. If you don't, move off.
What do you say? I'm glad Lewis answered that way, because that would lead into why I think we need to change the song. It is not catchy enough, because I guarantee you, if he was a Buffalo Bill fan, it don't take too long to say, hey, let's go Buffalo. Listen. When you go to the stadium.
By the way, the original song. All right, all right. Here we go. I will tell you what. If you get this song right, if you get this question right, Tony, I will buy a Blitz pickup shirt, and you could donate it to. You could put a part of your raffle.
Okay.
I will buy a shirt from you, and you could donate it. I have your Cash App, your Zelle. You have Zelle, right?
Yeah, Zelle, yeah.
I'll Zelle you the money. You could buy a shirt and donate it.
Okay.
What was the original song that came from? It's a parody of a song.
Which one?
A Buffalo song. It's a parody of a song. You know what song it is? Don't look in the chat either.
No, I can't, because I don't. You want to know the bad thing? I don't remember. They told me this. They played the song for me out there, and you got me on that mistake. I completely forgot.
Yeah, you make me want to shout.
Yeah.
You make me want to shout.
Get your hands up and shout. Yeah, come on now. Don't forget to say you will. Yes, that's one. That song. Yes, yeah. They played it for me. I'm like, oh my goodness. Because I remember me and Alex. Alex remixed it. We like, let's go Miami, and we recorded, because they were like, yo, just give us the shout song one time, just one time for the road. And we were like, all right, go ahead. And me and Alex looked at each other like, all right. And when they were like, let's go, we were like, let's go Miami. I'm like, did y'all think we really gonna say that live and y'all recording us? No, we weren't gonna be one of the fans like that. But yeah, man. And again, you need to have something like that, because I know Lewis wouldn't mind saying, let's go, let's go Dolphins, or that's easy. It's easy to know, it's catchy, and you see everyone in there like, hey. That's when you go around the stadium. I can't wait till you go, Lou. You're gonna see. Randomly, a fan gonna just bust out and say, hey, and the whole stadium gonna say the dang thing.
That's crazy, man. I could only, I don't want to say I imagine, but I guarantee you Crypto probably sings that song y'all were talking about in the shower when he's by himself. I bet you Crypto's in the shower screaming, shout, let me hear up and shout. Let me. Don't shake. You know Crypto better than anybody, Shake. Do you think can you envision Crypto Shake in the shower singing the shout song?
Oh, man. Yo, Lou, leave Crypto alone, man.
Hey, man, he about to call you plutocrat.
That's a fact.
Man, shout out to my brother Crypto, man.
Yeah, shout out to my. Hey, by the way, he's my co-host on Insomnia, man. I am grateful to have him as a co-host as well. All right, 2 more questions, and then we'll move on to the next segment. Give me your 3 draft pick do-overs. If you could go back in a DeLorean.
Deion Jordan, number 1. Get Deion Jordan out of here. He got to go. Charles Harris, he has to go. And
you would have got TJ Watt.
TJ Watt was in Charles Harris' draft. I wouldn't.
Well, again, Tone, you just mentioned 2. I'm going to give you the most important one, because what do I
know you're going to say Tua.
No. It's not even Tua.
Oh,
what's the most important position on a football team, though?
Quarterback. Don't talk about Jake Long.
Jake Long, when we passed up Matt Ryan, was the worst mistake in Dolphin history.
That was gonna be my third one. So
no quarterback, Tone. You take a left tackle.
Yeah, you know what? And now you remember what people were saying.
We could have had Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees.
Oh, we passed up on. I remember this, Jake. When we drafted Jake Long, they were like, he's a great player. He's probably gonna be a Hall of Famer, right? But they was like, who is he gonna block for?
Hey, you know what? Did you? Hey, let me tell you all a quick story. This is per David Hyde. He was on the Fish Tank. OJ McDuffie. That's one of my favorite shows, the Fish Tank. He was on the Fish Tank, and he said that he talked to Bill Parcells. Right, there was a guy that sold newspapers, the Miami Herald newspapers, a homeless guy, and he would buy the newspapers from him and have a conversation with him. And he had a little powwow about the draft pick, and he chose Drake Long because of that conversation he had with the guy selling the newspapers.
Don't tell me. Don't.
And by the way, Tony, I will find the clip for you, and I will send it to you. All right.
Oh my goodness,
that is ridiculous.
That is horrible. That even make it even worse. that even makes it worse. But yes, I think a lot of people forget about that, Lou. And I'm glad. See, listen, that's why we got to show together because great mind thinking alike. Because I think people think they only remember how good Jake Long was, and they forgot that we passed up on Matt Ryan to get him. No, bro. And that would have changed the trajectory of this team. And we knew that because at that time, we couldn't even get free agents to come down. You couldn't pay them to come play for Miami.
We got a cornerback, Jamar Fletcher, over Drew Brees.
Yeah, Jamar Fletcher, yes.
Who was in the Ted Ginn draft?
You know what? That's a good. I know we passed up on some people, but that was a good one. We got Ted Ginn over. I have to look that up, Lou. I have to look that one up. But we'll see. Some people should know. Shout out, Grumpy. I see you in the chat, my boy.
Here's the last one. If you could make the permanent uniforms, what would they be?
The old school, the throwbacks.
Yeah, the throwback one with the 3 stripes right here. Yeah. I'm taking that.
That's the cleanest uniform in the NFL, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, let me ask you all this question. All right, I'm going to give it to you. I should have did for my last guest, but you live and you learn. What's up, Bon Joe? All right, now I'm gonna throw up some pictures. You could do it one or two ways. One word or the first thing that comes to your mind. What do you want? Which one do you guys rather do?
First thing come to mind. Well, me, I first thing come to mind.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That'll work. First thing that comes to mind. That'll work.
All right. So now I'm gonna throw up some pictures. Now, you tell me, because one thing about Louis, Tony, y'all, we do. Tony is a frequent. He comes to the
Insomnia.
Insomnia. We talk about basketball. We talk about football. So the first few pictures is going to be basketball. So here we go.
Trash.
You're European. No.
I'm. And you know what? Let me stop. I'm gonna stop trolling. Needs to play defense. That the first thing come out, he needs to play defense.
All right,
Lou.
Give me 1 minute, fella.
Please, give 1 minute.
Yeah. European superstar. That's what it is.
All right. Speaking of which,
get him off my team. The first, give him, please trade him. That's the first thing come to mind. Trade him.
Heat lifer. Second greatest player of all time.
Weak-minded.
Tony?
Weak-minded.
Weak-minded. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the last one.
Overrated.
The GOAT. Facts.
Dwayne Wade Merchant.
All right, here we go. Now let's do a little boxing. Now I got 3 boxing players.
The greatest of all time.
Third greatest of all time. I give him third.
The only 8-division world champion in boxing history.
All right, here we go.
Unfortunately, it's gonna be he's the GOAT. He's actually no. I don't want to see. He's not the GOAT. Greatest defensive boxer of all time. I'll say that. I'll give him over Sweet Pea. Over Sweet Pea, I'll give it to him.
I would agree with that. Greatest defensive fighter of all time. Absolutely.
My dog. I love watching his fights. Dynamic, exciting. I don't care what you put him on. I've always liked it. He's one of my favorite boxers to watch. So no slander for Canelo from me.
Hey, Shake and Tone. Have y'all ever watched the movie called Blood In, Blood Out?
Yeah, of course.
No, I haven't.
Well, Shake.
Have you ever seen? Remember that song Tupac? I see death around the corner.
Yeah.
They took a lot of movie quotes from that movie.
Yes, they did. So in the movie, there's a Mexican tone. It's like a Mexican gangster movie, and in the movie, one of the main characters, he looks white, but he plays a Mexican, and they call him Milkweed. That's what I'm gonna say, Canelo Alvarez. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I see him, Milkweed.
All right, let's do some little Dolphins. By the way, by the way, real quick before y'all answer, looking at this picture, I see why he wears a hat. But go ahead.
Executive of the year in 2025. Chef,
I say he gonna be the chef of the year. Call him Chef Grill from now on. Get rid of Aloysius. His new name is Chef Grill.
Hey, listen, and one thing about him, he's a bagger. He's not gonna hold the bag, so he always gives the bag to somebody else. So.
Hey, listen, man. I'm
calling him. How about this guy right here?
Al Bundy. Man, listen.
All right, how about this guy?
Oh, MILF. There you go.
QB1.
Oh, that's.
And you know who that is next to him, right?
I don't know who that is, but I know she.
That's Tua's mom.
Oh, that's it. It's over with.
Oh, it's over with. And you know what, Shake? End the show. End the show right now.
Hey, shout out Frozen Finn fan. Did you put the link down so people could even check you out? He said he
hey, check this out. But real quick, hey, listen, when I saw this, y'all not gonna unsee this, but y'all watch the show. Speaking of reason I put Al Bundy in there, y'all watch your show Married with Children. Remember Married with Children, one of the greatest shows? All right.
Grew up on that. Jack Wilson looked like Marcy from Married with Children.
That's crazy. That's some nasty work.
Maybe he banged her mama.
That's some nasty work, man.
I'm just saying. All right, how about this guy right here?
First thing come to mind, good enough to not be good enough. Fool's gold. I'll say that.
Lewis?
First thing that comes to mind when I see Tua is headache.
And I'm glad y'all brought this up. Because Tony, I want to. This is me and Ian's last reminder to you guys.
The first thing come to mind with me is they should have dust on them.
They're out of stock. The two flip flops are out of stock. See, look, it says it right there, out of stock.
Out of stock. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know who bought them. I don't know. Hey, Lou, you bought a pair of those, Lou? Because I haven't.
I just want to know. So, week 18, they showed Tua wearing the sunglasses. Was he also wearing those same flip flops? Because he wasn't playing on the field.
You know what? That's a good question. Maybe he bought them all out for his family. Members, Lou.
They're out of
Maybe
stock.
That's why they out of stock.
Hey, this was on Amazon. They're out of stock.
Oh man, listen, man. Hey, listen.
Hey, one more question for Frozen Fin fan, real quick, if you don't mind. If you could put in the chat what days or what time do you usually go live?
Yeah,
so
that'd be
okay, that's what's up. All right, here we go. We got a lot of Jalen's on the team, so let's start off with this one.
Jaden, right? He's gonna be a dog. Tell you this year gonna be a breakout season.
He needs more carries.
Yes. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't do it.
I'm gonna sing a song for him. Cry me a river. Cry me. Man, get this dude off the dance floor.
Sorry,
you know
man.
what, Shake? Since we're in the mood of TV shows and movies, Play look like Tarzan, play like Jane.
All right.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Cut.
Rocking by. Cooked. He cooked.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Damn, what the hell is it? All right. I had the other one, Jalen Waddle. What do you think of Jalen Waddle?
He needs to be receiver number 1 this year. These are facts. If he don't be receiver number 1, he's going to be gone. That's my hot take.
So now let me ask you this. If, let's say, for instance, McDaniels doesn't get hired, gets fired, whatever. I have some new career choices for him. What do you think fits best? We have McDonald's worker.
It fits his name, so hey.
It's Best Buy employee or Humpty Dumpty impersonator.
I'm gonna say Best Buy because at least he can work for what do you call them? The genius people,
the geek squad. The
yeah.
geek squad. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Best Buy. Mondays at 8:45. That and I think Tuesdays 8:45 Eastern.
Mondays at 8:45. I'm on the Ace Per Head channel. Okay.
For roundtable.
For me, Shake, I'm gonna say Mike McDaniel. I'm not gonna put him in none of those 3 categories you had him. To me, okay. Mike McDaniel looks like the guy that works at Amscot.
Oh my God.
Behind the glass, so giving out money. First of all, you know your money's gonna be spot on. Mike McDaniel knows how to count. And second of all, like Amscot's a good time when you go in there. You want to have a conversation with the people and stuff. And Mike McDaniel seems like he would give you a bunch of long-winded answers. So yeah, Amscot employee for me.
Geek Squad, Shake. He look like he belong on the Geek Squad. No, sir. Oh, sure. Did we lose Shake? So I guess we taking over the show. Oh, he back.
I was about to say.
Hey, you hit the top of the mouse. For some reason, it kicks you off.
Oh,
on the mouse. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the top of it. Yeah, I'm glad I'm going to say, man, welcome to the end of Blitz takeover by the Blitz pickup. We running a 24-hour show because we can't end the show. They're like nah, that ain't it. But yeah, man, I think he belong with the Geek Squad. Shake. That's why I think that's the best job for him. Geek Squad.
Okay.
He can do pie charts, all kind of science projects, everything.
All right.
I'm just understanding.
Now we have the last segment, and then y'all could be on. We'll end the show with the last segment. Before we do, I remember both of y'all saying we did the duos games. All right.
Yes.
The 5 duos was the Marx Brothers, Patrick Surtain, Sam Madison,
Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor,
Bryce Stevenson, and Richmond and Ronnie and Ricky.
Ronnie Brown,
yeah.
Ricky. Yeah.
Now, if you could do over for last year's team, what team, what duo you guys, both of you picked Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor. You still stand by that statement that you think those guys would have helped?
Last year team, well, we needed edge last year. See, you remember all our edge was out. So yeah, Jason Taylor would have helped us out. And if you add one more dog on that defense, because I would say this, and yes, I would have picked that because when we point out how the offense, they don't show up against the plus 500 team, they do well against the tomato cans. Our defense was like that last year too. They were. So if you give me Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas on this team, I don't think we give up all them points against Seattle. I do think we managed to put off that win against Tennessee, and we make the playoffs. So yeah, I'll still go with Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor.
And by the way, Grumpy kicked me out of the room again.
Man,
I just want you to point. That's what happened. Grumpy kicked me out again. He kicked me out of Spaces. He kicked me out of the TFTG room.
That's crazy. I actually Tony
and dude, he still wants me deported.
God damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is a little.
Listen,
bit crazy.
I'm married an Americana woman, so I'm double anchored here.
No man.
Yeah, so Tony said he would keep Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. I know I said Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas as well.
Ready to go cornerback here.
I'm going to go in a different direction. I'm going to go Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams. I know a lot of people said last year that the running game took a step back. It wasn't the same of what we seen in 2023 when they ran as a team for over 2,000 yards. I'm going to say in a lot of those short yardage situations where last year Miami came up short, if we had Ronnie Brown or Ricky Williams back there, it's safe to say that we're picking up some of them short yardage and maybe keeping some of those drives alive. So
you bring Wildcat back then, Luke? You bring back the Wildcat?
Well, listen, I'm not even just saying from a Wildcat, even though you could do it with those two gentlemen. I'm just saying it's hard for me to believe on a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, if you hand the ball to Ronnie Brown, he wasn't falling forward for a yard. And Ricky Williams, listen, we know how evasive he was. And
he ran with power.
Listen, he ran with power and with like some speed. Once he got going, there wasn't a lot of guys catching him, right? So from that standpoint, I think the running back room, even though as much as I liked A-Chain and how productive he was last year, you give me Ricky and Ronnie, and I think, again, just to try to change it up for this conversation, I'll go with those two gentlemen.
Okay.
Yeah, we beat Buffalo a lot more too. We pulled out at least get a victory against Buffalo.
Now, the last category, I'm gonna shuffle these cards up, right? And this is gonna be the award ceremony, right? I'm gonna pick out a player. You tell me which player, like like for instance, cornerback. You tell me who's your favorite, all-time cornerback. But the caveat is, if I do defensive MVP, you can't pick him again.
Oh, okay.
You're going to use him one time. We'll do 3. We'll do 5 times. Give me a number through 1 through 5.
8.
8. 1 through 10 is 8. All right. 1, 2.
Wait. You said 1 through. Oh,
that's right. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Here we go. We'll take out the 3 categories. All right. Here we go. Offensive MVP, all time.
And we can't use our offensive MVP for like the MVP you said, right?
Why you want to use Tua?
So let's say we use them. So let's say you use Dan Marino, you can't use him as the favorite quarterback, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
oh shit.
So offensive MVP of all time. So
offensive MVP of all time for me is going to be Larry Zonka.
Larry Zonka. I would say, can we use this different one? Can I use the same Lewis, or we got to pick a different one?
No, different one. Everybody.
Okay, so if he took Larry Zonka, because I was going to take Larry Zonka because I want to keep.
No, you can use Zonka too if you want to. These are your perspectives. So.
Well, then I would take Zonka because I would want to keep.
Okay.
I would take Zonka.
All right. Offensive MVP.
You just said that.
Oh, we did that one. My bad. D-line.
Defensive MVP.
Yeah, no, D-line. Defensive line.
Oh, favorite defensive line of all time?
Yeah.
Jason Taylor.
Lewis?
Zach Thomas is right
there. Defensive line.
Oh, D-line. He said D-line.
Yeah, Jason Taylor's a good one. I don't want to go Jason Taylor with Tom. Defensive line. And this is for what? Defensive MVP?
Hey, can I change mine from Jason Taylor? I don't want Jason Taylor no more.
All right. Go do your thing.
Tim Bowens.
Tim Bowens, all right.
Yeah, I'm taking Tim Bowens. I don't want Jason Taylor.
You know what? I was gonna go Timbo too, man.
My bad.
No, you can do Tim Bowens too.
No, I want to do something different. Well, if Tone's gonna give up Jason Taylor, then I would go Jason Taylor.
Yeah, give me Tim.
All right, and last but not least, running backs.
Ricky Williams. We already took Larry Zonka, so it gotta be Ricky Williams.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Ricky.
Y'all want to know who my second favorite running back out of Ricky Williams? I know y'all probably thinking Larry Zonka. It was Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush, yeah, he was good.
Reggie had some good years, man.
Hey, as a matter of fact, you know what's funny is my buddy on Man of the Hour, he said when he used to use play Madden, he used to play with Dolphins because what he would do is he would audible, like he would do a power eye, and then he would do a power eye, right? Power eye formation.
Mm-hmm.
And then what he would do is he would audible it, and because he was as wide receiver, so now you have a dime, four wides with a power, facing the power running.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kill him.
Because when they see you run power out, they ain't in I formation, they're gonna have their heavy package in, and then you just spread them out. Now you got linebackers on receivers. Very smart. That was one of the tricks. That's how you know when he was a Madden, he understood the tricks and how to beat the game. Because you do things like that, and I would. Because second would, I mean, it was Reggie Bush and Jay Ajayi, because I like what Jay Ajayi did here while he was here. But outside of Ricky Williams, I think people forgot how good Reggie Bush was. Remember, they thought he was washed up and he wasn't no good no more when he came here. And he had, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had his only 1,000-yard season with us.
He had 2,000-yard seasons.
No, I'm saying the first. Right, he had 1,000, but I don't think he had one. What he was at first.
No, the only 2,000-yard seasons he ever had was in Miami.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He had his only 1,000-yard seasons with the Dolphins. He wasn't like that when he went to New Orleans first, right? He went to New Orleans and then he went to Seattle, was it?
No, well, he was in New Orleans, then he went to Detroit.
Detroit, yeah, he went to Detroit, yes. And then he came to us and he had his only 1,000-yard seasons with us. So people didn't know that. Yep.
By the way, that's a good that's a good TI reference right there. Stand up.
18 got them in 28 is 5-2 with a soda of a 6-4.
That's a TI song.
And yeah, 145 of them out of your weight class.
I'm gonna be pushing my agenda to move off.
Oh, here we go. Trying to get rid of 18. Well,
don't worry about it.
You already heard. They say you want. You know what I mean? Leave it alone. we know the real reason.
Well, again, a bunch of people don't always say I'm wrong, and it turns out that I'm usually right. So
I'm just saying what I heard, but the real reason you want him out the building. That's all.
I mean, that's fine. Hey, man, I'm out here just spewing, nonsense to the community, man. That's
man. Just remember, guys. I just want you
God. You know what? And they're never going back to stock because they know no one bought it. You know what? You remember? You know what? Shake, I got you right here. I know why they out of stock. You remember when we used to have the blackout games? And the sponsor used to have to buy the tickets so we could watch it on TV. That's what they did. The sponsors bought all the slippers.
Are you trying to say Mallow bought all the tickets?
Mallow. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that though, Shake? I know we're trolling and having a good time up here, but what's crazy is I want to move off of Tua. Everybody knows that. It's no secret, right? But if Tua comes out in week 1 and balls out, I'm going to be the first one on Monday to come out in Twitter Spaces and on YouTube and give the man credit.
Yeah, you're right.
And at the end of the day, that's what we all should be, right? Like, I don't understand. It's either you got to hate him and he can do nothing right, or you got to love him and he can't do nothing wrong. Why can't it just be evaluate game by game? And if the team or the coach or the general manager in a draft or whenever, if someone does a good job, give them credit. And if you see that it's warranted that they're not living up to par and they're not giving you their best effort, then you criticize them, right? Why does it have to be such an extreme to where, well, I hate him, so he can't do nothing right, or I love him and he can't do nothing? No, it's called. Earlier today, we were having a conversation, Shake, about the All-22 and this and that. And bro, evaluate your team and take feelings aside. And for me, we would be in a much better place as a fan base with a lot less arguments if everybody could just come and, again, criticize is when it's warranted, give praise when it's warranted, and take feelings aside.
Yeah,
it's a fact.
I agree with you, man. It's like one of the best analogies I give is we're like weathermen. Okay. And what I mean by weatherman is you look at when a hurricane warning comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are looking at the trajectory of the storm. You're not saying it's coming to Miami 100%, but it's heading that way.
That's why they give you a cone.
There could be a wind shift. It could go somewhere else. It could go this way. It could go that way. So, you know, as a hurricane hits, if it's not coming to Miami, you're not going to report, hey, it's coming to Miami, because you look like an idiot. So,
Right.
hey, it's going this way. It's going that way. So all you're doing is trying to project where Tua is going. Right now, you have him projected as not the guy. But if something happens, he actually gets his head out his ass and starts learning the playbook and gets serious and balls out, you're not going to be saying the Tua is trash. You're going to be like, okay, well, Tua changed our minds. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it's all about, in my opinion.
Well, I think people shake right there because I've said Tua's trash, but that's amongst friends in a Twitter space, and we're trolling, we're having a good time. No one in their right mind believes that Tua is trash. I think Tony and others within the community have always said it best. Tua's good enough not to be good enough.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the best way to describe him. It just feels like with Tua, when you need him the most, is usually when he fails the most. And that's the biggest problem, right? If we could get a little bit more consistency, and I'll be honest, fellas, that's what's so frustrating for me when I watch Tua. It's that we know he can do it. We've seen him do it, right? We've seen him improvise. Is Tua ever going to be Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen? No, he is not. But we've seen Tua pick up 7 yards for running for 8 yards.
That's cap, Grumpy. Stop.
We've seen him do that. We've seen Tua throw in between defenders to throw a touchdown pass to Mike Gesicki in the back corner of the end zone against Baltimore. We've seen him do things, right? And that's what's frustrating for me, Shake and Tone, is that's when I see you do it, now I know you can. So my expectation is you need to do it. And I'm not saying do it 100% of the time. I've yet to meet a man
more than not
or woman, right? I've yet to meet a person that just walks around this face of the world where they're perfect.
Perfect.
But you got to be better than what you are. You just put it 4-16 against playoff teams or winning teams. That's not good enough, right? If that record was 10-12, I could live with that. If that record was 12-10, I could live with that. What I can't live with is 4-16.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, bro. That's the biggest problem with Tua. It's not that he's trash. I don't believe he's trash. But do I believe that he can ultimately be the best player of your team or lead your team? No, I do not. I think he's more falls in line with the Brock Purdy's, with the Kirk Cousins, with others. You have to have everything around him in a perfect situation, and on any given day, everything has to be perfect, again, to beat the upper echelon teams. And for me, I'm just tired of living in that world, man. So, but no, I do not believe that he's trash. When you hear me say that, it's more trolling with my friends or having a conversation, and sometimes when I get heated, I'll say it. But no, bro, again, Tua's not trash. You don't make the league by being trash. But is he one of those guys? No, he's just not that.
Well put, man. Well put. So, anyway, before we get out of here, any final thoughts? And what do you guys got cooking up this Wednesday tomorrow at 7:30 ish?
My final thought always thank you for having us. Thank you for even thinking of us to invite us over here, especially for the second time. We're always appreciative of that. Well, we got, you already know, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 ish. We will be live on the Blitz pickup. Thank y'all again. Hopefully it was some of y'all in here. If this is y'all first time seeing us that went over to subscribe, that got us over the 500 mark, I want to thank everyone again. We will always appreciate that. Thank you, Shake, too, for always even helping us out and jump the link. You've always been supportive from day one. I would tell you that. I've always told you that. So yes, we do have our shows coming up. The next show we will be breaking down. I seen a great question in the chat. I think it was Powerhouse. And Powerhouse, you know what? Come to the Blitz Pickup Wednesday. You will get the answer. He asked, "Were we still tanking, or are we competing for Super Bowl this year?" That is one of the topics we will be going over to see how we think the players will eventually fit with the team. And then we'll give some outputs of what we're looking forward to with training camp approaching, what we will be looking forward to out of our rookies coming this up season. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all check us out again Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the Blitz Pickup.
Lou, any final thoughts from you, my brother?
Yeah, listen, Tony just gave you the rundown. The only plans I have, Shake, is doing what I do best, going over there and lighting people up on fire, including my co-host Tone. That's what I do. Again, I have no plans but doing what I usually do, and that's cook, goddammit.
Yeah.
But hey, Shake, Tony kind of stole the thunder. You already know, bro. It's the friendship. Again, mi hermano, right? That means you're my brother.
Lou, there you go. Look. That's what you're doing tomorrow.
Yeah, Shake. Let them know. That's usually what happens when you see me up on the panel. That's what happens. But no, Shake, listen, Tony was saying it, not only the support by always, promoting the show or dropping links or whatever, it's the stuff backstage that you've done.
Yes.
Like giving us tips and pointers of how to do things that maybe we didn't know how to do. So again, Shake, this is, I think, my third appearance on the Blender.
Mm-hmm.
And
hey, what's the win for EM? Dolphin fan,
Who?
EM.
I got who's that? Never heard of him.
I got this waiting for him when he gets here, baby.
He must be a very nice guy if you got a whole bottle waiting for him, but I never heard of him. So hopefully I meet him one day, Shake.
I don't know who that guy is, but listen, man, to everybody that's listened to this episode or will be listening to it, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for getting us over 500. And Shake, bro, you're the man, bro.
You're the man too, bro. All right, guys. Hey, y'all stick backstage real quick as we do as we wind down. But Phin's up, and yeah, man. Like I said, real quick, this Thursday, Paris Love, comedian, TikToker, and my man, he's another up and coming channel. I like him a lot. He's on every morning at 10 o'clock. Phin's Posse. Also, the good thing, one thing about this guy is I want to talk to him. 2 years ago, he had a heart attack. He was in the hospital, in and out of hospital with heart conditions. He's living his best life. He's giving his tickets away to fans that never been to games. And I think he's an all around good person. So
that's what's up, man. That's dope.
So with that being said, man, everybody, Phin's up. We'll see you next time. Peace.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.